Telehealth is the use of telephone, cell phone, computer, or any electronic gadget that will enable anyone as a patient to communicate with their physicians for the purpose of diagnosis, treatment, management, education, and follow-up care when a face-to-face with a physician is not possible.
Good day to each and everyone. My name is Dayan El Sarmiento. On behalf of Group 1 from Grade 11 Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics strand of Immaculate Conception Polytechnic, Santa Maria, Bulacan Campus, I extend a heartfelt welcome to each one of you. Thank you for sparing your valuable time to be with us today. We anticipate that this interview will be an enriching experience for everyone involved, providing valuable insights and knowledge. Today's discussion promises to be fruitful, offering us all a chance to expand our understanding of the subject at hand. So, to outline the purpose of our meeting, a research on human disease project presented to the Faculty of Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics strand of Immaculate Conception Polytechnic, in partial fulfillment of the requirements on General Biology 2. We also want to extend our gratitude to Mr. Paulo S. Llanera, our esteemed instructor for General Biology 2, for granting us the chance to carry out and immerse ourselves in this project that will serve as a crucial stepping stone, providing aspiring individuals with invaluable insights that will illuminate and guide them on their future journey in the medical field. So to start this meeting, we are delighted to have Dr. Maricel Peralta Abejo, a graduate of BS in Medical Technology, Doctor of Medicine, had her internship at East Avenue Medical Center. She passed the Physician Licensure Examination and the Dermatology Board Examination. She is also a Fellow of the Philippines Dermatological Society. Again, let us all welcome Dr. Maricel Peralta Abejo to deliver her opening remarks. So,
Thank you. Actually, I did not really. Hindi ko alam na may opening remarks. So, I believe you are all in HA strand. Am I right? So, all of you want to pursue any healthcare course, or maybe in the future become a doctor. Am I right? Okay. So, siguro, let's just say that you need a lot of patience. You need a lot of strength. You need to be healthy to be a doctor or to be in the health care arena. Yeah, it's really something that our government, I think has even through the pandemic, parang hindi siya napagbigyan masyado ng pansin when it comes to budget, financially, and then when it comes to workforce. Kita nyo, di ba, nurses are going abroad, even doctors are going abroad. So you really have that perseverance and determination to be in the healthcare, especially here in the Philippines. Yan lang naman.
So thank you so much po. Thank you po.
Okay.
So now I would also like to call for the presence of our group. So we have here Sam Alarde.
Hello po, Doc.
Hi.
We have Michael Royal Castillo.
Hello po, Doc.
Hi.
Miss Lyra Goho Cruz. Siya po yung nag-message sa inyo po.
Good
And
afternoon.
we also have here Althea Jane Laborte.
Good afternoon po, Doc.
Afternoon.
Dustin Kim Manalese.
Good afternoon po, Doc.
Afternoon.
Mitzi Shin Paharon.
Good afternoon po.
Melomer Pascual.
Good afternoon po, Doc.
Good afternoon.
Anne Geraldine Perez.
Good afternoon po, Doc.
Hi.
And lastly po, our dedicated assistant leader, Miss Alexandra Nicole de Guzman.
Thank you, Dayan. Good afternoon. Good afternoon po, Doc. I am Alexandra Nicole de Guzman, and I like to express our heartfelt appreciation for consulting to meet us for this interview. Your willingness to impart your expertise and insights in dermatology is genuinely valued. Your knowledge will be a guiding insights. Your knowledge will be a guiding lights for us as we proceed through this field. Thank you once again for taking the time to meet with us today, Dr. Abejo.
Thank you. Swerte nyo kasi off ko.
Thank you po. And again po, I am Diane El Sarmiento, the group leader. I appreciate each one of you here on our meeting na naglaan po ng oras para maging possible ang interview na ito. So, before we proceed po sa pinakarason ng meeting na to, we will have a short chikahan lang po regarding sa experience niyo po as a doctor. The obstacles you encountered po throughout your journey as a medical student, your pre-med, internship, post-med, and sa mga universities pong napasukan nyo. Pwede niyo rin pong i-share sa amin kung bakit niyo po na-feeling mag-doktor. This will serve po as a motivation din para sa amin kung sakaling i-pursue rin po namin ang field of medicine, lalo na po na nasa STEM strand kami. So, can you share your experiences po?
When I was a kid, talagang gusto ko na maging doktor. My lola kasi always tells me that nung bata ako, matalino daw ako sa mga apo niya, kaya ko daw maging doktor. And then, parating ang sinasabi, huwag kang magda-nurse kasi alila lang yan ng doktor. Parang sasabihin niya sa akin, maghuhugas ka ng puwet, ganyan-ganyan. So, parang nalaso na yung isip ko na I want to be a doctor. But actually, when I was in grade 6, I want to be a lawyer. Parati kasi ako nai-involve sa social sciences. Parati ako nag-excel sa araling panlipunan. So, parang that time, medyo gusto ko maging lawyer. Pero, after nun, high school, nung gumraduate ako ng college, talagang napunta ako kasi as, medtech yung pinili ko. Kasi alam ko na yun yung magandang stepping stone. So, I luckily entered FEU Medtech. Isa siya sa mga best daw. So, dun ako napunta. And then, dire-diretso na. Kasi sa FEU noon, FEU NRMF, iba kasi yung FEU, Far Eastern University na college. Iba yung Nicanor Reyes Memorial Medical Foundation. So, sa FEU NRMF, pag Medtech ka, ang daling pumasok sa medicine. I mean, hindi mo na kailangan na sobrang galingan yung NMAT mo, ganun. Parang automatic na ina-accept nila yung medicine. So, hindi ko na pinahirapan yung sarili ko. Tapos, yun nga, natuloy naman ako ng medicine nang walang hirap kasi nga, madali nga sa FE yung admission. So, tinuloy ko. Siguro, umiiyak lang kasi talagang mahirap. Pero pagkatapos umiyak, bangon ulit, aral ulit. So, ang hirap din kasi ang tanda mo na talaga. The earliest, kasi lalo na ngayon, we have senior high school. The earliest is, mag-graduate ka siguro ng residency, 35, 37, mga ganun ka na. So, dun ka palang mag-work while your classmates and your barkadas are all working already. So, yun yung, yun yung medicine life. What else do you want to know about, medicine?
Thank you po, Doktora. During pandemic naman po, since nagkaroon po tayo ng lockdown and then matagal-tagal rin po yun, paano po kayo nag-adjust during pandemic as a dermatologist po?
Sobrang hirap kasi kung titingnan nyo sa mga studies, kami yung pinaka-affected. Why? Kasi lang kami outpatient. Karaniwan, we don't have too much emergencies. Kung may emergencies kami, Stevens-Johnson syndrome, toxic epidermal necrolysis, yung parang mga nagbaburn. So, pag na-admit sila, yun lang yung problem namin. But then, kami yung unang-unang, wala muna kayong clinic. Tapos, syempre, if we do procedures, face-to-face kami sa patients. So, ang magandang dinulot ng pandemic is, sa amin, madali kaming mag-online consultation. Kasi from pictures, we can diagnose. But then, ang hirap din pala kasi yung mga patients hindi sanay mag-picture. Diyos ko, yung mga background nila. Tapos hindi nila alam, kailangan namin nakikita yung distribution. Tapos, 12 midnight na may nagtatanong pa regarding dun sa instructions na binigay mo kasi parang hindi kayo magkaintindihan. Iba rin talaga yung face-to-face. Tapos, surprisingly, yung mga diseases na inaakala ko na hindi ko makikita nung pandemic, surprisingly, ang daming yan, yung topic nyo, psoriasis, sobra talaga nag-flare yung mga may psoriasis patients. Tapos, hindi lang ako yung naka-experience nun. Sa group chat namin mga dermatologist, ang dami talaga, sobrang tumaas yung kaso. So, lahat ng stress-related skin diseases, mas marami siya.
Good morning po. My question naman po for you, ano po yung best pre-med course to take and bakit po?
Sa experience ko, dalawa yung choice ko, medtech, nursing. Why? Kasi you have the most hospital hospital exposure. Like ang internship nyo, nasa hospital na. So, yung mga ma-experience nyo ng medtech, ma-experience nyo rin ng medicine.
So last na po, curious lang po kami kung paano po maging doktor, what are the process, what are the things we should compromise po upon pursuing this career, and what universities or medical schools po yung mare-recommend niyo po?
So, ano na kayo, di ba? HA na kayo. So, di ba, primary education nyo, secondary nyo, tapos na, and then SHS. So, after nyan, magka-college kayo. Yung college, 4 years. So, pre-med nyo yon. Karaniwan, 4 years. Wala namang 5 eh. Wala ring 3. So, 4 years. After 4 years ng pre-med, you go into medicine, another 4 years. So, that's 8. And then, you'll do clerkship. You'll do internship. So, totoo yung sinasabi nila, 12 years. You do clerkship, you do internship, and then you go for the boards. Pero, pagkatapos nun, pipili pa kayo ng specialization. So, pag specialization, like kami, 3 years. I-add mo yun dun sa 12. Tapos, may exam din yun, ha? May ano rin sila, may exam din sila for that subspecialization. So, yon. So, roughly, siguro yung talagang doktor na doktor ka na, 15 years up.
So, ayun po. Thank you po.
Parang nangingiwi na kayo. Parang yung mga facial expression nyo, ayaw nyo na. Parang gusto nyo na lang mag-asawa. Nakikita ko sa mga mukha ninyo.
So, ayun po. Thank you po. So, mag-proceed na po tayo. So, we tasked to look for a disease po under the integumentary system, and we chose psoriasis po.
Bakit yun
one of our teachers po kasi is diagnosed po siya with psoriasis, and may nakita rin po kaming Filipino influencer na TikTok na sa TikTok na nag-struggle sa condition na yon. Kaya we decided po to focus on psoriasis. And actually po, pinagawa rin kami ng brochure about psoriasis, and para rin po mas maging knowledgeable pa kami tungkol din sa disease na yon, we would also like to seek po for a professional doctor. So, to start our consultation po about psoriasis, we have here our assistant leader to further elaborate the flow of our discussion.
Sige.
In this part po, all of the members of the group will ask questions regarding the topic psoriasis. To start, let me first introduce myself again po. I am Alexandra Nicole de Guzman from STEM 11 1 St. Agnes, and I am the assistant leader po ng group number 1. And then ito po yung first question. Can you give us a basic description of psoriasis?
Okay. So, psoriasis, ang basic description niya is under siya ng tinatawag na inflammatory skin diseases. So, when we say inflammatory, inflammation, meaning to say, pag may inflammation, there's redness, sometimes there's swelling, scaling. So, yon. Kaya siya inflammatory because from the word inflammation, red siya. So, looking at it, at physical examination, you will see na ang psoriasis looks like karaniwan, multiple, hindi lang isa. Multiple, erythematous or red, scaly. Hindi lang scaly, silvery, scaly plaque. Pag sinabi nating plaque, meaning to say, nakaangat sa balat. Ganun ang plaque. Pag patch kasi, di ba, naka-flat lang. So, pag sinabi natin plaque, pero sometimes they are also papules, pero scaly pa rin. So, mapapansin mo, nakaangat siya sa balat, mapula, at saka nagkakaliskis. So, yun yung basic description niya. Tapos karaniwan, syempre, with itchiness when it comes to the symptoms. Tapos, tandaan nyo, yung mga lesions na yon, karaniwan symmetrical. What do I mean by symmetrical? Pareho silang present bilaterally. Like for example, ang sites of predilection ng psoriasis, nasaan? Nasa scalp, tapos nasa elbows, knuckles, sa daliri, sa kamay, at saka sa paa, knees. Tapos after nun, may involve na rin yung trunk. And parating involved sa kanya nails. So usual history niya for ilang years or ilang months maybe, magkakaroon sila ng rashes sa mga ganyang areas, yung mga bony areas. So example, matagal kang parang feeling mo nagbabalakubak pa. Tapos biglang tumawid siya sa hairline. Example, ito lang yung hairline mo. Tapos nagkaroon ka ng plaque dito o kaya dito sa likod ng tenga. O ng yun balakubak. Malamang psoriasis na yun. So, ganon karaniwan yung history niya. And then, mapapansin mo, matitrigger siya ng stressful life situations.
So yun po, thank you po Doc. For the next question po, si Michael Royal Castillo po yung magtatanong.
Okay.
Thank you, Alex. The second question po, Doc, is how is psoriasis diagnosed and what are its symptoms po?
Okay. So, yung mga symptoms na mention ko sa iyo iba. So, syempre, yun yung typical rash. Tapos, may redness, may itchiness. Tapos, yun, balakubak-like or tinatawag namin seborrhea-like. And then, sometimes kasama sa symptoms, may bone pain or joint pains. So, those are the usual symptoms. Tapos, how is it diagnosed? It is very, 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 very typical yung presentation niya. So, pag nakita namin siya, clinical eye lang, nasa 95 to 100% medyo sure na siya. Kasi iba talaga yung plaque niya. Hindi siya mukhang simpleng allergy. Talaga siya. Naka-emboss talaga siya sa skin. Tas, iba yung pagka-scale niya. So, dun pumapasok yung, kaya nga may specialty. So like for example, I trained in Jose Reyes, diba, for 3 years. Doon, pag first year ka, syempre tingin ka na maraming diseases. We see mga 150 patients, morning pa lang yun. Another 150 patients sa hapon. Pag di pa naman nasana yung eye mo, tumingin ng skin diseases. So pagdating mo ng third year, parang pag tiningnan mo ganyan, alam mo na yun. Dapat kasi pag mapagalitan ka ng consultant, pag ibig sabihin hindi ka tumitingin ng pasyente kapag di mo na gets yun. So clinical, yun ang way to diagnose. And number 2, pinaka-importante, biopsy. Biopsy will give you a very detailed itsura ng description ng psoriasis on a histopathological level. So what we do is we punch sample ng skin, tapos we put it in a formalin. And then, we send it to the laboratory to be read by dermatopathologist. Hindi basta-basta pathologist, dermatopathologist. Kasi sila yung may keen eye on that. Tapos, babasahin nila yon, and then, if they see the characteristic histopathological features of psoriasis, then it's definite. Diagnostic na yon. Yun yung gold standard. Biopsy talaga.
Thank you po, Doc. Ang sunod po na magbibigay po ng question ay si Diane Sarmiento po.
Okay.
What can be its causes po and how can a person get it po? Is it contagious din po ba? And kasi po, according po sa findings po namin, psoriasis is classified as an autoimmune disorder po. How does the immune system's function become crucial in the development of this condition?
Sige. Actually, yung autoimmune cause niya is really just hypothesis. Kasi pag binasa mo ang psoriasis, up to now, the cause is unknown. Hindi siya alam. Kasi walang makitang, sa mga studies, walang makitang parang pattern na talagang dun ang gagaling yung psoriasis. So, pag sinabi nating autoimmune, kasi pag binabasa mo about psoriasis, it's dysfunction or dysregulation of T cells. So, kaya sinasabi nila na autoimmune. So, what happens kapag autoimmune is yung dapat na mga cells na lumalaban sa infection, ang natatarget nila yung healthy cells. That's why a disease, maraming autoimmune disease eh. Pero what happens in psoriasis kapag may dysregulation ng T cells is that masyado yung turnover time ng skin para mag-scale or parang maglibag. Kasi normally, we shed the normal skin, kaya nga tayo naglilibag, di ba? Pero that's around about every 28 days. Sa mga psoriasis, it has been found out na ang turnover rate time ng skin nila is just 4 days. That is why nagde-develop sila ng scaling. So to put it in parang mas madaling level, kasi pag masyado tayo nag-tackle about hindi nyo maiintindihan. So yun yung nangyayari. Kaya sila nagkakaroon ng plaque.
So, thank you po. So, the next question po will be asked by Lyra Goho Cruz.
Next question po. Are there any misconceptions or myths about psoriasis? And what could be the reason behind these misconceptions?
Alam niyo naman yung mga Pilipino, talagang maraming misconception. So, number 1, yung sinabi niyo kanina, na contagious siya. Hindi siya contagious. So, myth lang yon. Kahit na magdikit kayo sa may taong psoriasis, hindi kayo magkakaroon ng psoriasis unless talagang bound to happen na magkakaroon ka talaga ng psoriasis or may gene ka predilection sa psoriasis. Kasi actually yun yung term. So, ang cause niya is unknown. May gene predilection. Karaniwan ng mga sakit sa balat, ganon. Kahit skin asthma, ganon. Ibig sabihin lang, born ka na with the gene predilecting you to that certain disease. So, ganon yung psoriasis. So, yun nga, hindi siya contagious. Tapos sinasabi nila, example, nasa harap ako ng pasyente, sasabihin nung nanay, hindi kasi yan naglilinis ng balat, hindi kaya naliligo araw-araw, kaya nagkakaganyan. It's not really brought about by poor hygiene. So, tapos yung iba sinasabi, yung psoriasis daw is cancer. There was one time, meron akong pasyente, lola, pinipilit niya na cancer daw yun sa balat. So, lalo tuloy na yung apo niya. Lalo tuloy na de-depress yung apo niya. Tapos, sinasabi nila, huwag kayong maniniwala dun sa makikita nyo sa social media. Ito yung definite cure for psoriasis. Kasi, myth lang yon. It is not treatable or curable. It is just controllable, pero hindi siya matitreat. Walang isang magaling na gamot na forever hindi ka na magkakaroon ng ng psoriasis. Tapos, sinasabi nila, skin lang daw ang may problem sa psoriasis. Hindi totoo yun kasi naapektuhan din ang joints. Tapos, medyo linked na siya sa obesity saka sa hypertension. Tapos, sinasabi, it affects only older people. Hindi rin totoo yun kasi mayroon tinatawag tayong infantile psoriasis which is inverse psoriasis. So sabihin ko sa inyo yun mamaya kasi may tanong pa about the kinds of psoriasis. So, yun yung mga maling notion about psoriasis.
Thank you po, Doc. The next question po will be asked by Sam Alarde.
Which healthcare professionals are qualified to assist in diagnosing psoriasis po?
Pag general physician ka naman, if you are keen to skin diseases, kaya. So, yan. Tapos family medicine, internal medicine, has a background also on dermatology. Tapos kami nga, syempre kami yung una kasi talagang sa skin siya eh. So, primarily, pinapahawak talaga sa dermatologist yan. And then, you have to have help from rheumatologist because nga, it involves also the joints and psychiatry. Why? Because of the psychological effects of the disease.
Thank you po, Doc. Si Dustin Manalese po yung magtatanong.
Okay.
Thank you, Sam. So, this is the next question po. What are the different types of psoriasis and how their definitions, causes, symptoms, and treatments differ from one another? What is the most common type of psoriasis po?
Ang pinaka-common type of psoriasis yung tinatawag na plaque psoriasis. Yun yung kapag nag-Google images kayo, pag tinype niyo yung word na psoriasis, yun yung unang lalabas for sure. Tapos, so pag sinabi nating plaque psoriasis, yung mga nakabilog-bilog from dun sa mga sites of predilection na sinabi ko sa inyo. Pero yung mga plaque na yon pwedeng lumaki, lumapad, or dumami sa buong katawan talaga. So yun yung pinaka-common type ng psoriasis. Pangalawa, guttate psoriasis. Ang guttate psoriasis, pag sinabi mong guttate, parang droplets. So, karaniwan nangyayari yan after a streptococcal infection. So, example, inubo-ubo sipon lang. Tapos, after nun, nagkaroon na ng rashes na droplets sa buong katawan or dun sa mabubutong area. And then, ganun rin yung itsura niya. Medyo silvery, scaly. Ayun, yun yung guttate psoriasis. Pero ang guttate psoriasis, maganda sa kanya, it's self-limiting. Pag nawala lang yung streptococcal infection, mawala din siya. Mag-flat din siya. So, yun yung dapat mong i-address doon. Tapos, ang pangit na psoriasis, yung sinabi ko sa inyo pala kanina, yung sa mga babies, there's one form of psoriasis, inverse psoriasis. Ang inverse psoriasis, kaya nga siya inverse, ibig sabihin, yung mga plaque nandun sa mga areas na hindi sites of predilection ng psoriasis. So example, nagkaroon siya, instead na sa mga elbows or bony areas ng katawan, nagkaroon siya sa kilikili, sa umbilicus, sa inguinals or sa singit, tapos dun sa ari. So karaniwan, ganun yung inverse psoriasis. Ang maganda sa inverse psoriasis, especially kapag infants, pag na-outgrow nila, there are times or most of the time, hindi na sila nagkakaroon kapag matanda na. Pero pwede pa rin. Pwede pa rin, pero less lang yung incidence na nagtutuloy kapag matanda na sila. And then, yung tinatawag na sebopsoriasis, yun yung sinabi ko din sa inyo kanina. Yung sebopsoriasis, parang napapagkamalan mo siyang balakubak. Pero, mas makapal siya. Tapos, tumatawid siya sa hairline. And then, yung pinakapangit na dalawang psoriasis is yung tinatawag na erythrodermic or exfoliative dermatitis. Ibig sabihin, generalized na siya. So, sobrang pula niya, tapos wala nang space sa balat. Yun yung erythrodermic or exfoliative dermatitis na brought about by psoriasis. And then, there's yung tinatawag na von Sombush or pustular psoriasis. Ang pustular psoriasis, from the term itself, mukha siyang maraming nana sa buong katawan. Imbis na scaly plaques, ang nangyayari sa kanya, marami siyang pustular lesions. As in, minsan wala nang space. So, yun yung dalawa sa pinakapangit na psoriasis.
Thank you so much po. Ang next po na magbibigay ng question ay si Melomer Pascual po.
Good afternoon, Doc. Aside from the integumentary system, how does psoriasis affect other body system?
Okay. Yun nga, number one talaga, joints. So, karaniwan, there's a term psoriatic arthritis. So, pag sinabi natin psoriatic arthritis, involve yung joints. So, bukod dun sa lesions, nahihirapan si patient galawin yung kamay niya, nahihirapan siyang maglakad because yung joints niya is all painful and aching. Like, the usual arthritis, parang sa matatanda. Tapos, syempre, talaga, psychological. Karaniwan, they have depression and they have, suicidal tendency. I have 2 patients na yung isa pareho silang medyo bata, 20s and teens na yung isa 2 beses na nag-attempt, yung isa 1 beses. Pero luckily okay pa sila, hindi naman naaga pa naman. Pero yun nga lang, hindi lang ako yung nag-handle noon, syempre, na-handle rin ng psych. Tapos yun, rheumatologist dun sa arthritis.
Thank you, Doc. The next question that will be asked for is by Anpe.
Can psoriasis be fatal, particularly for immunocompromised individuals, and is it contagious? Can psoriasis lead to other health complications, and what are those complications?
Yun nga, yung sinabi kong complications kanina, yung pagpustular saka exfoliative dermatitis. Those can be, yung dalawa na yun can be detrimental to health. Why? Kasi syempre, kapag nagsha-shed kasi ng balat, what happens is mawawala yung protein mo sa balat. So, ang mangyayari, magmamanas ka. Tapos, you have chills, fever. Yung mga ganon, ano na sila, admissible. Admissible na sila sa hospital. And it can be really, it can really be detrimental. So, pag na-admit sila sa hospital, syempre, fully abraded yung skin nila. Mapasukan lang yan ng kung ano-anong bacteria, fungus, then any complication can happen. So, pwede na talagang ikamatay yon pag pinabayaan nila.
Thank you, Doc. And the next question will be asked by Althea.
How do you distinguish psoriasis from other skin condition like eczema which might exhibit similar symptoms?
Okay. So yun nga yung kanina, yung sinabi ko. To differentiate it, sa scalp, it extends sa hairline. Tapos yung ospit sign. You have to always see scalp saka nails. Ang psoriasis kasi meron ding nail pittings. May mga nail, nail findings. Nagiging dystrophic yung nails nila. Makikita mo, sa simula, konti lang yung pits. Pag pits, parang may tuldok-tuldok sa nail. So, it's different from eczema. Ang eczema kasi, pwedeng hindi naman involve yung scalp at saka nail. Tapos yon yung Koebner phenomenon saka yung ospit sign.
Thank you, Doc. The next question will be asked by Shinpa.
Ang pagkakapareho nga lang pala ng eczema sa psoriasis is pareho silang chronic recurrent. Ibig sabihin pareho silang not treatable, only controllable. Yun yung pagkakapareho lang nila. Pero pagkakaiba yung minention ko kanina. Okay.
Okay po. Thank you po. The next question will be asked by Shilpa.
Next question po. Who is the most affected by this disease? Can you specify an age or an age group, a gender, or a cultural group?
Okay. When it comes to gender, walang differences. Pero ang age predilection niya, working age group. Usually 15 to 30 years old, karaniwan yan. Pero it doesn't matter naman na 31, lagpas ka na. Kasi any age group pwede. Sa male or female, wala. There's no gender predilection.
Thank you so much po. Ang next po na mag-aas si Alexandria po.
Thank you, Shin. Ito po yung tanong. Based on our research, psoriasis is most common in Northern Europe and least common in Eastern Asia. Is there a certain reason for this occurrence po?
I think walang specific reason. It's just that it was observed nung na-discover ang psoriasis. It's observed na mostly talaga European. Actually, to be specific, pinaka-increased siya in Denmark. Tapos there's a certain island, Faroe Islands, Faroe Islands, na mataas yung incidence ng psoriasis. But in Asia, low lang yung incidence niya. Low lang siya pero it's a common parang walang linggo or minsan walang araw na hindi ka nakakakita ng patient with psoriasis. Karaniwan talaga meron.
Okay po, thank you po, Doc. For the next question po, Diane Sarmiento.
Thank you, Alex. So, ito po yung next question. Do children and adults with psoriasis have different effects? If so, how? And if not po, what would be the reason?
Magkaiba sila talaga. As I said kanina, di ba, pagka children, karaniwan, inverse psoriasis. Meaning to say, nandun siya sa mga areas na hindi common na areas of predilection ng psoriasis. Tapos, sa adults, doon siya talaga sa typical sites. But then, wala din siyang difference. There's no difference at all. If it is psoriasis, psoriasis pa rin siya. And once it's triggered, it will be recurrent.
Thank you po, Doc. Ang next po na magtatanong is si Lyra Gohokos.
Next question po. In the Philippines,
Who are the most susceptible to developing this illness, and what factors contribute to their vulnerability?
Okay. So, pagdating dyan, yun yung kasunod na answer dun sa kaninang question. So, most vulnerable group, yung sinabi ko sa kanina, 15 to 30. Pero, nagkakaiba na lang, depende kung ano yung meron sila. Like, for example, na-trigger siya, pero yung patient is obese. Ang presentation ng psoriasis sa mga obese, mas gumagrabe. Or, mas mahirap siyang i-control. Tapos, smoking. So, yung mga nagsusmoke, lahat naman, actually, lahat ng sakit naggagrabe kapag may factor ng smoking. Tapos, infection. So, pag may present bacterial infection na or wala pa pero generalized yung lesions, syempre, mas gumagrabe. And then, drugs. Some patients resort to, yung minsan kasi mahirap maghanap ng dermatologist. Tapos, akala nila, magsabi na ako ng gamot. So, karaniwan, binibigyan. Yung mga inflammatory skin conditions kasi, karaniwan, yung mga doktor na hindi masyadong keen to isipin na psoriasis siya, bibigyan sila ng prednisone or steroids. So, ang steroids, topical, is standard treatment for psoriasis. Pero, oral, prednisone, yung iniinom, sa una, mga first 2 weeks, parang magic, mawala yan. Pag in-stop mo yung prednisone, boom, pwede siyang maging pustular, pwede siyang maging erythrodermic. I mean, it's a no-no to give oral prednisone no matter how grabe yung psoriasis kasi it will only have withdrawal effect. So, ibig sabihin, mas gagrabe yung psoriasis. So, mapapatunayan mo yan sa mga pasyente na nakikita mo. Dok, nagpatingin na ako sa ganito, binigyan ako ng ganito. Ang ganda naman. After 2 weeks or after 3 weeks, nagkaganito na ako. Ganun parati yung history. So, it's a no-no na mag-oral pred. So, yun yung mga factors na pwede mag-affect or magpagrabe ng psoriasis.
Thank you po, Doc. The next question po will be asked by Michael Royle.
Thank you, Lyra. The question po, Doc, ay what types of psoriasis is commonly experienced by Filipinos and what is the reason behind it?
Yun. Wala ring reason behind it. Pero yun nga, in general naman, hindi lang sa Pilipino, it's really plaque psoriasis. Yun talaga.
Okay po. Thank you po. The next question po to be led by Melomer po.
How can psoriasis affect a person's daily life? What are the difficulties that a patient with psoriasis may encounter, especially when selecting products and in food intake?
Okay. Ang mga difficulty talaga is, syempre, ikaw nga, di ba, tumingin ka sa sarili mo. Pag may plaki-plaki ka sa umaga, pag di ka ma-depress. Acne nga lang, nakaka-depress na eh. So, syempre, nagkakaroon ka ng social insecurity. Instead of attending sa mga events, pagka may psoriasis ka, parang ayaw mo. Siyempre, di ba? So, nahihinder ka. Tapos, when it comes to your, even if you want to wear shorts or wear something comfy, lalo na ngayong summer, paano ka magaganon kung lahat ng skin area mo may lesion? So, yun yung talagang mahirap. Kasi syempre, you want to achieve clearance sa skin mo. Kasi it's something na you always present yourself with. Although, maganda sa psoriasis, karaniwan, hindi siya common sa face. So, sa scalp, medyo tago. Tapos, sa ibang part, tago rin naman. But then, your elbows and knees. So, yun, di ka makaka-shorts. Meron kang certain dresses na hindi mo magagawa. Kahit mainit sa Pilipinas, naka-jogging pants yan at saka naka-long sleeves or naka-jacket. When it comes to selecting products, because you're desperate, lahat na lang pinaniniwalaan mo. Makakita ka sa TikTok ng ganito, makakita ka sa... There was one time, meron akong pasyenteng teacher, may psoriasis siya, tapos, ewan ko, may sinabi siya sa akin, ano ngayon? Sudaifu, something like that, Sudaifu oil or Sudaifu cream. Tapos tinry niya, nag-worsen yung psoriasis niya. Because the thing is, you really become desperate. So, lahat nung makikita mo na po pwedeng bilhin, bibilhin mo. Pero, hindi pa rin siya gagaling kasi, as I said, it's only controllable, not totally treatable.
Thank you, Doc. The next question that will be asked for is by Dustin.
Thank you, Malamar. So this the next question po. What possible effects might psoriasis have on someone's physical and mental health?
Yun. Insecurity talaga. Insecurity, depression, you become parang mas loner ka. Ayaw mong kausap. Minsan kahit family members, you don't want to be with them. Kahit family events. Kahit alam nila na hindi ka makakahawa.
Thank you, Doc. The next question will be announced by Althea.
Thank you, Dustin. My question po is, are there any particular factors associated with the environment, such as pollution or climate, that may trigger psoriasis?
Yes. Pagdating sa pollution, as I said, syempre kapag may mga abraded areas na, nangyayari kasi if there are open wounds, any bacteria or fungi can complicate things. So pag nakapasok yan sa skin mo, pwedeng magkaroon ng secondary mamaso or impetigo, pwede kang magkaroon ng other fungal infection. Ang worst, it can cross the bloodstream and cause you sepsis, especially kapag generalize yung lesion. Climate naman, pagdating sa climate, mapapansin mo na mas active ang psoriasis saka mas nagre-recur siya during cold months. Why? Kasi pag cold months, mas dry yung skin condition. Di ba pag example nakakulong tayo sa aircon room or masyadong malamig, pansinin mo very dry yung palms and soles natin. It dries up. So karaniwan, mas kailangan mo mag-moisturize kapag may psoriasis ka kasi yung recurrence niya mas madalas kapag cold months or cold yung weather or cold yung climate.
Okay, thank you po, Doc. Next po na magtatanong is si Sam po.
Thank you, Althea. Yung next question po is, what are the potential long-term effects of untreated psoriasis?
Ayun, potential effects talaga, yun, suicide. Tapos, sometimes kapag associated siya with obesity, comes other problems. Like for example, may hypertension na, may diabetes pa, may psoriasis pa. Kasi ang psoriasis, kasama na rin siya dahil nga dun sa link niya with obesity, kasama na rin siya sa tinatawag na vascular disease or yung tinatawag na syndrome X. Pagka hindi controlled yung mga ibang sakit mo, yung tendency na hindi mo makontrol yung psoriasis mataas.
Thank you po, Doc. Si Dayan po yung next na magtatanong.
Thank you, Sam. So, ito po yung next question.
Okay, Dayan.
So, ito po yung next question po. What are treatments for psoriasis and what is the most recommended po?
Okay. So, most recommended dito sa Pilipinas, kasi abroad, talagang ang practice na is yung tinatawag na monoclonal antibodies. So, dito sa Pilipinas, conservative tayo mag-manage since very expensive yung monoclonal antibodies. So, number one talaga, standard, are topical corticosteroids. So, kasi kailangan mo talaga ng anti-inflammatory. Kapag walang anti-inflammatory, paano mo ma-address yung redness? So, basic din na isa sa mga prevention kasama sa treatment, we always emphasize the use of moisturizers. So, always sinasabi namin sa patient, kahit wala pang attack ng psoriasis, make sure at least 2 times you moisturize your skin very well with moisturizing lotions. Hindi yung lotions na may mga whitening or mga may glutathione, papaya, mga ganyan, kasi karaniwan yan yung mga ginagawa ng mga Pilipino. So, number one, topical corticosteroids. The problem is, topical corticosteroids has long-term side effects. So, ibig sabihin, pag hindi mo alam gamitin yung corticosteroids, pwedeng mapahamak yung balat mo. Like, for a long time, nagto-topical corticosteroids ka, pwede rin siyang magkaroon ng systemic absorption. Also, there's one ginagamit sa psoriasis, yung tar. Ang tar pwedeng go in the form of soap or in the form of shampoo dahil involved nga yung scalp. So long before pa, ang tar ginagamit na talaga siya. Actually, galing siya sa isang puno. Pero ginagamit siya as adjunct treatment. Hindi siya po pwedeng sole treatment. Pwede siyang adjunct treatment, meaning to say additional. Pwede kang mag-tar soap or tar shampoo. And then, here comes also, pagka mas mababa na yung inflammation, yung hindi na masyadong ma-red, hindi na masyadong ma-scaly, yung tinatawag na tazarotene, saka mga topical calcineurin inhibitors. Pag sinabi natin topical calcineurin inhibitors, yun yung mga pimecrolimus, tacrolimus, is a different family of medications that you can insert while the patient is not on topical steroids. Kasi nga, yung topical steroids, kahit magaling siya, hindi mo siya po pwede continuously binibigay. Tapos, so yan yung standard, mga corticosteroids, etc. Second line of therapy is phototherapy. So, isa din ang phototherapy sa ginagamit. There's yung tinatawag na phototherapy machine or UV machine. Pwedeng UVA, UVB. Pumapasok ka sa parang time machine na maraming light bulbs. Tapos may mga brief exposure of UV rays na tama for psoriasis. So pag pumasok yung pasyente doon, meron naka-black suit. Tapos naka-expose lang or butas yung black damit dun sa mga lesions. Para yung lesions lang yung tatamaan ng UVB. Nakikita nyo si Moira may psoriasis yan. Si Paulo Bediones may psoriasis yan. Pero you don't see them with lesions because they are on injectables. Monoclonal antibodies talagang ginagamit ng mga yan. So yun. So pagdating sa treatment, may topical, may oral or systemic, tapos phototherapy, saka injectables.
Thank you po, Doc. Ang next po na magtatanong ay si Alex.
Thank you, Dayan. Ito po yung question. What are the potential side effects and risks associated with psoriasis medications?
Yun nga, mga side effects. Kaya mo siya laboratory workup. Halos lahat naman ng gamot, number 1, affects kidneys and liver. So make sure yung baseline laboratories are all good. Kasi what if you're taking the medication and then you give extra damage to the liver and the kidneys? Parating pinoprotektahan yan. Tapos, when it comes to acitretin, it's also the bones. Kasi yung bones mo pwedeng mas rumupok kapag ka nagte-take ka ng medication na yan. So talagang kailangan monitoring ng laboratory. Wala namang kasing gamot na walang side effects. Lahat talaga meron. Pero you have to always weigh the benefits from the risks.
Thank you po, Doc. Ang next po na magtatanong is si Ann Perez.
What are the preventive measures an individual can do to minimize the flare-ups?
Okay. Wala namang ang number 1 na ine-emphasize talaga yung minention ko kanina. Yung moisturizers talaga. You really have to moisturize and moisturize a lot. It's both preventive saka para hindi ka parating inaatake ng sakit. Pag tamad ka mag-moisturize ng skin, then your flares will be on 2-week interval. Parang maggagamot ka tapos di ka mag-moisturize, balik lang yan ng balik. You will not be free of lesions.
Thank you, Doc. The next question will be asked by Dayan.
Thank you, Anne. Ito po yung question. What lifestyle modifications do you recommend for patients that are diagnosed with psoriasis? And how can you determine the most suitable approach to treatment for each patient?
So, yun nga, parati kong sinasabi sa mga patients is to maintain yung ideal body weight. Kasi importante talaga yun because it's linked to obesity. Tapos sinasabi ko sa kanila, if you want your psoriasis to not flare so much every so often, always keep yourself healthy. Ibig sabihin, kapag meron kang diabetes, meron kang hypertension, the more mas mag-cut down ka ng fatty foods, the more mag-cut down ka ng salt sa diet mo, and then carbohydrates sa diet mo. So, talagang number 1 rule is to keep yourself generally healthy. Kasi pagka hindi, hindi mo talaga siya makokontrol unless you want to live, parating may lesions.
Thank you po, Doc. The next question po will be asked by Sam Alarde.
Yung next question po is, if genetics contributes to the development of psoriasis, what recommendation would you provide for individuals with a family history of the disease who wish to take proactive measures to lower their risk?
Mahirap yun kasi hindi mo madedetect talaga unless you do genetic studies. Para sobrang sobrang tedious nun, saka sobrang expensive kasi hindi mo mape-predict who in the family will have. So unless yun nga you do genetic studies, yung talagang pag-aaralan kayo. But then yun nga, bata ka pa lang. Lalo na kapag meron kayong histories ng eczema, psoriasis, etc. or any chronic skin disease, talagang kailangan basic moisturizer talaga. Basic yun. Another is sunscreen.
Yung next po, thank you po, Doc. Yung next po na magtatanong is si Diana.
So, are there any available medicinal plants po that can be used to treat psoriasis?
Sa mga ang herbal kasi parating, di ba, pag nakakita kayo ng mga herbal bottles, makikita doon, no therapeutic claim. So, hindi kasi ginagamit ang herbal medicines as sole treatment. So, adjunct lang din siya. Pero, merong isang medicinal plant in the form of, para siyang grape. I forgot yung, nga ba yung pangalan nung nun. Wait lang Pinulat ko yun para hindi ko makalimut. Wait lang. Eto, Mahonia aquifolium. It's a kind of Oregon grape na sa ibang bansa siya. Tapos the others are Chinese herbal medicinal plants. Indigo naturalis. Chinese herbal rin yun. So yun, Mahonia aquifolium saka Indigo naturalis. Others, sa Jose Reyes, we have one study of aloe vera na umo-okay din ang psoriasis. Pero, usually kasi mga herbal talaga, kailangan ng randomized controlled trial na madami para masabi mo na pwede siya talagang treatment for psoriasis. Support, yes. Pero as treatment, wala talagang isa na iinumin mo and then good ka na.
Thank you po, Doc. Ang next po na magtatanong is si Lyra Goho Cruz.
Thank you, Diane. Next question po is, as an individual, what can I do to support a close person dealing with psoriasis?
The best thing you can do is to treat him or her naturally. Yung walang tingin-tingin sa lesion, yung walang tingin na nandidire, which is mahirap kapag kahit alam mo kasi na kahit alam mo kasi na hindi siya contagious sometimes, 'di ba? Parang iniisip mo matouch yung skin, parang natatakot ka. Ganun kasi talaga yung yung natural natural reaction natin with skin diseases. Pero yun nga, as much as possible kung meron kang family member or kaibigan, is to treat the person the way lang na natural. Para walang uneasiness and then yung walang feeling na dire. So, yun talaga.
Thank you po, Doc. Next question po will be asked by Diane.
Doc, about po dun sa mga na-handle niyo po na patient with psoriasis, pwede niyo po bang i-share yung experience niyo po?
Parati kong sinasabi sa kanila, sila yung mga ayaw kong makita parati sa clinic. Kasi, patients and doctors become very, very desperate about it. As much as you want to have total clearance of the lesion, wala talaga. So, pag pumapasok yung mga psoriasis patient, kaming mga doktor, kinakabahan na kami, nako, baka may flare na naman to, baka may arthritis na naman to, ano pa yung susunod kong gagawin? Kasi sometimes nauubusan na kami ng bala sa psoriasis. So, yun yung Yun yung mahirap talaga sa psoriasis. Yung magkikita kayo na madalas.
Thank you po, Doc. Ang next po na magtatanong is si Dustin.
What is the worst case scenario of psoriasis that you encountered throughout your journey as a dermatologist po?
Yun, yung mga admissible patients. There was one, na-admit siya sa hospital. Talagang hindi siya makalakad. Hindi niya ma-bend yung elbows niya to get something to feed herself. Ano yun eh, I remember, naging parang patient siya, subject patient siya sa isang monoclonal antibody for free. So, ibig sabihin for 2 years, clear siya ng lesion. Tapos, nag-sudden stop. So, wala nang injection kasi wala nang libre. Ayun, na-admit siya. Because of the withdrawal. Nakaka-happy naman kasi talaga na walang lesion. So, feeling niya, wala na siyang dapat gawin after nung kasama siya sa subject nung study na yon, clear of lesion siya, tapos biglang nagkagan. So, yun yung one of the worst cases. And then yung dalawang suicidal patient ko. Karaniwan yun talaga yung medyo mahihirapan kayo pag mga na-admit because of erythroderma or exfoliative dermatitis kasi yun talaga yung complication.
Thank you po, Doc. Ang next po na magtatanong si Althea po.
Thank you, Dustin. Ito po yung question ko. What advice can be given to patients with psoriasis to help prevent the disease from leading to depression and other mental health issues?
Parati ko rin yun madalas ko sinasabi sa kanila. You really have, number one is to accept it. Kasi pagka hindi mo siya in-accept na maluwag sa heart mo, kailangan i-accept pa. Kasi pagka walang acceptance, wala kang gagawing action. And then, magde-deny ka na lang ng magde-deny na, hindi to, gagaling to, ganyan. Kailangan harapin mo talaga kung chronic siya, recurrent siya, ano pa yung magagawa ko para hindi to madalas nasa sakin. So, parang mag-start ka. Alam mo, kahit naman anong sakit, parati kong sinasabi sa mga psoriasis patient, parating, ano yung naririnig nyo? Kahit na nasa family lang kayo, di ba parating sinasabi, mag-diet ka, mag-exercise ka, kumain ka ng masustansyang pagkain, hindi yung puro karne, hindi puro matamis, or yung something na mag-gain ka ng weight kasi lahat yan, kahit hindi psoriasis, kasama yan. So, I think that's basic advice sa mga patients with psoriasis. You really have to accept it and then, what are the things I should do myself para to keep myself healthy. Kasi if I don't, I will have lesions parati na lang.
Thank you po, Doc. The next question will be asked by Lyra.
Thank you, Althea. Next question po. Can early diagnosis help with preventing further damage?
I don't think so. No. Kahit na ma-diagnose mo siya early, actually, para sa akin, mas mahirap nga na yung onset ng psoriasis mo very early in life. Kahit kung ma-diagnose ako early, wala rin naman prevention So, bakit ko gugustuhin na lumabas siya early in life? Mas maganda, later in life na lang.
Thank you po, Doc. Next question po will be asked by Alex. Thank you, Lyra. Ito po yung tanong. What makes the treatment of psoriasis particularly challenging?
Yun nga, challenging siya because the best treatment cannot be for all. Like for example, meron ka talagang mga infections, di ka po pwedeng mag-monoclonal antibodies. Tapos the irony of life is that minsan, meron akong patient, alam ko kayang-kaya niya mag-monoclonal antibodies kasi ang yaman niya naman. Pero ayaw niya pa rin. Alam mo kung bakit? Kasi takot daw siya sa mga injections, yung mga side effects noon. Sabi ko, lahat naman ng gamot may side effect, even yung pinapahid mo. Yun yung parati kong sinasabi sa kanya. Pero ayaw niya. And there are people na gustong-gusto mag-monoclonal antibodies. Wala naman silang pambili ng monoclonal antibodies. So, it depends talaga dun sa person. Pero yun talaga number one hindrance. Yung financial. Kasi both naman kahit topical yon or injectables, ang gastos Yung magme-maintain ka ng lotion every day, especially yung mga lotions talaga na well-formulated for psoriasis, ang mamahal nila. So, kung monthly bibili ka nun, ganun din. Para ka rin gumastos ng pang-monoclonal antibodies. Pero sabi ko nga sa'yo, it depends on the patient.
Thank you po, Doc. For the last question po, Diane Sarmiento.
Doc, how important is it to take care or to give a significance po, especially on our integumentary system? In fact, that most of the Filipinos are maybe unaware of psoriasis.
Yes, talagang, as I said, skin is the largest organ. So, knowing that it's the largest organ, it's one organ that we should take care of. So, basic, wag tayong mga Pilipino kasi ang hilig-hiling mag-whitening soap, papaya soap, gluta soap, ganyan-ganyan. Stay with mild moisturizing soaps. Yun yung isang take. Kasi talagang basic siya. Basic siya sa kahit anong skin disease. Go for hypoallergenic ones, moisturizing soap, if you can afford lotion. Don't add extra trauma to the skin. Kasi pag bata pa lang nag-whitening soap ka na, what happens is, mas nagiging dry yung skin mo over time. And then, pag tumanda ka na, mas lalo na. Tapos remember, the absorptive capacity ng skin mo is at most kapag bata ka. So, pag nagmo-moisturize ka, mas bata ka, tingnan mo, as you age, you look younger compared sa hindi nagmo-moisturize. Kaya nga, isipin mo, farmer, parating nakatapat sa araw, tas yung nag-o-office, sino mas mukhang tumatanda, di ba, yung farmer? Kasi mas maraming exposure to trauma or exposure to sunlight, etc. So, you will reap the problems kapag ka mas tumanda ka na. And there's no turning back kapag ganon. So, pag bata ka pa lang, since alam mo malakas yung absorptive capacity ng skin, that's the best time to moisturize your skin. Pag andyan na yung disease, yung problem, tapos ngayon mamino-moisturize yung matatanda, hindi rin optimal yung result kasi yung absorptive capacity nila less na.
That is our last question na po. Thank you po, Doc, for providing us knowledge about psoriasis. We are grateful po for this opportunity to have an interview with a professional, as it will not only offer invaluable insights into the realities of medical practice, but also ignite a spark of inspiration in the hearts of budding healthcare professionals. Your story will demonstrate how perseverance, dedication, and passion can transform one's journey in the medical field, motivating students to pursue excellence in their own paths. So, ayun po, thank you so much po, and any last words or message po before we end this meeting?
Thank you rin sa inyo. I had the opportunity to share. Pero ang isa pa sa ibibilin ko sa inyo, sa family nyo, etc. If you have skin problems, you always look for PDS dermatologists. Why? Kasi marami kasing sumusulpot sa atin na kung ano-ano, Glutaparlor, Glutadrep, etc. Yan yung mga kalaban namin actually. Hindi namin sila kalaban sa business. There are so many skin diseases na lalong gumagrabe. Pagdating sa amin, grabing-grabe. Bakit? Nauuna nila pagpatinginan yung mga hindi naman talaga doktor. Ang dami kasing, alam mo yon, nasa parlor, maglalagay ng coat, may pink name dito. Akala ng mga tao, dermatologist na sila. So, iba yung dermatologist, iba yung esthetician. So, kapag maghahanap kayo ng dermatologist, you see a real doctor. So, usually, meron kaming tinatawag na PDS Seal of Excellence. Makikita nyo yun sa mga clinic namin. May glass nakalagay doon. Philippine Dermatological Society Seal of Excellence. Meaning to say, the doctor is well-trained in both pathologic and aesthetic form ng training. So, yun lang yung gusto kong sabihin. Kasi yun nga, sobrang daming nagpapap na kung ano-ano na they will always click. Alam mo yung pag tinawag silang doktor, hindi man lang nila kinokorek, ay hindi po ako doktor. Hindi. Sige lang, nagdo-doktor-doktoran na. So, siguro sa mga start with your friends and families if you have skin problems, no matter what it is, basta problems ng skin, hair, and nails, you look for a PDS dermatologist. Para at
Thank
least
you
sure
po.
kayo.
Thank you po. Thank you so much everyone po for making this human disease project possible. I hope that you all learned something, but I know for sure that you did. On behalf of Group 1 from STEM 11-1 St. Agnes of ICP, we thank our General Biology 2 instructor, Mr. Paulo S. Llanera, and of course, Dr. Abejo, for bringing the light and hope for those you care, and for taking the time to participate in this interview for our school project. Your insights and expertise have been incredibly valuable and will greatly contribute to our understanding of psoriasis. We truly appreciate your generosity in sharing your knowledge with us. And again po, I would also like to call the presence of our group. We have Sam Alarde,
Thank you po, Doc, sa mga infos.
Michael Royal Castillo,
I would like to thank you po, Doc, to this interview po. Especially po sa pag-discuss po ng psoriasis po. Thank you po.
Lyra Goho Cruz,
Thank you so much, Doc po, for answering the question, and God bless po and a nice day.
Thank you.
Althea Jane Laborte,
Thank you so much, Doc po, for sharing your knowledge with us.
Dustin Kimanalese,
Hello, Doc. I just want to drop you a quick note to say a massive thank you for agreeing to be interviewed. Thank you. It means a lot to us. Thank you so much po.
Mitzi Shin Pahad,
Thank you so much po, Doc, for generosity in sharing your knowledge and experience with us po.
Thank you.
Melomer Pascual,
Thank you so much po, Doc, and thank you everyone for agreeing.
Anne Geraldine Perez,
Thank you so much, Dr. for taking time to have this interview with us po.
and our assistant leader, Alexandra Nicole de Guzman.
Thank you so much po, Doc, sa paglaan niyo po ng oras sa interview po na ito at sa pag-share niyo rin po ng knowledge niyo po sa amin. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you. I hope na may natutunan ng kayo kahit kaunti sa akin.
Sobrang rami nga po. So, thank you so much po.
Thank
Before
you.
po i-end yung Zoom meeting, pwede po mag-picture po tayo.
Sige, sige.
Ako na lang,
Sige,
screenshot.
sige.
Thank you.
Okay po. 1, 2, 3.
Okay na?
Thank you so much po.
Okay na
Thank
po.
you.
Thank you po.
Bye-bye.
Thank you po, Doc.
Thank you po, Doc. Thank you po.